In a world filled with noise, arguments and constant misunderstandings, Jefferson Fisher's The Next Conversation arrives like a breath of fresh air. It isn't just another self-help book filled with recycled advice. Instead, it's a compelling guide that dives deep into the art of effective communication, especially during conflict. Fisher, a seasoned trial lawyer with a calm, commanding presence, brings his courtroom wisdom into everyday life, showing us how to navigate tough conversations with clarity, calm and confidence. This book isn't about winning arguments, it's about winning connection and making our relationship stronger, one conversation at a time. At its core, The Next Conversation is about transforming the way we approach conflict. We live in a world that rewards the loudest voice, the snappiest comeback, the last word. But that approach rarely leads to true understanding. Fisher flips the script by showing that listening, being present and responding instead of reacting are far more powerful tools than dominance or debate. The book's central message is simple but revolutionary: the next conversation is more important than the current one. What you say and how you say it right now will either build a bridge to future connection or burn it down. That insight alone reframes how we handle every disagreement, from family feuds to workplace drama. Fisher introduces the concept of staying in control without being controlling. It's a powerful distinction. Too often we confuse control with power and end up manipulating conversations to get our way. Fisher argues that true control comes from within. It's about managing our tone, our words and our reactions. When emotions run high and tensions escalate, that inner control becomes our greatest asset. It allows us to keep conversations productive and respectful even when we completely disagree with the other person. This control is not about suppressing feelings but about being intentional with how we express them. One of the most valuable tools Fisher offers is the conversation compass. It's a mental model designed to guide you through emotionally charged discussions. The compass has 4 key points: control, clarity, curiosity and connection. These 4 C's become your North Star in any conversation. Control helps you regulate your tone and body language. Clarity ensures that you're being understood without confusing or overwhelming the other person. Curiosity reminds you to ask questions and seek to understand instead of assume. And connection focuses on preserving the relationship rather than winning the exchange. These elements work together to shift the conversation from confrontation to collaboration. Fisher's legal background shines through in how he teaches us to slow down the tape. In the courtroom, every word counts. But in life we often rush to respond, especially when we feel attacked. Slowing down the tape means taking a breath, pausing before reacting and choosing your words carefully. This pause creates space for reflection, which can prevent unnecessary escalation. It also signals to the other person that you're present and thoughtful, not just trying to bulldoze your way through the conversation. Slowing down might seem counterintuitive in a heated moment, but it's one of the most effective strategies in the book. A recurring theme in The Next Conversation is emotional responsibility. Fisher challenges readers to own their reactions instead of blaming others for how they feel. He explains that no one makes you angry; they may trigger a response, but how you react is your choice. This shift in mindset is powerful. It takes us out of victim mode and puts us in the driver's seat. We can't control what others say or do, but we can absolutely control how we show up and respond. This principle applies not only in conflict but in all areas of life, from parenting to leadership to partnerships. The book also emphasizes the power of tone over content. You might be saying all the right words, but if your tone is sharp, sarcastic or dismissive, the message gets lost. Fisher uses the example of a GPS voice. It doesn't yell when you miss a turn, it calmly recalculates and guides you back on track. That's the tone we should aim for in difficult conversations. Calm, steady, non-threatening. It's not about being passive or avoiding the issue, it's about creating a space where both people feel safe to engage and be heard. One of the standout sections of the book explores the idea of story versus statement. Often in arguments we operate from the stories we tell ourselves rather than the facts. For example, if your partner forgets to text you back, your mind might race to a story: they don't care about me, or they're ignoring me on purpose. But the actual statement might be, they didn't respond to my message. That distinction changes everything. By separating story from statement we reduce emotional distortion and make room for clarity and curiosity. This practice not only improves communication but also protects relationships from unnecessary damage. Fisher also addresses the importance of boundaries. Good communication doesn't mean becoming a doormat. It's possible to be kind and firm at the same time. Setting healthy boundaries lets others know how to treat us and helps prevent resentment from building. The key is communicating those boundaries clearly and without guilt. Fisher provides simple scripts and examples showing how to express needs respectfully while staying grounded in your own values. Whether it's telling a friend you can't talk right now or letting a colleague know you need time to respond, boundaries are essential to maintaining emotional balance. Another memorable part of the book is how Fisher breaks down the role of ego in conflict. Ego wants to be right, it wants to win, and it wants validation. But conversations driven by ego rarely end well. Fisher encourages readers to let go of being right and instead focus on being effective. That might mean letting someone else have the last word or choosing not to engage in a power struggle. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. When you prioritize connection over ego, you create space for real dialogue, growth, and healing. Throughout the book, Fisher uses relatable stories from his life and work to illustrate key principles. He shares moments where he got it wrong, moments where he stayed calm under pressure, and moments that led to deep breakthroughs in connection. These stories ground the book in reality and remind readers that this journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. We're all going to mess up sometimes, but every conversation is a chance to do better. That growth mindset is at the heart of the next conversation. The practical takeaways in the book are easy to apply yet deeply impactful. You'll learn how to ask better questions, how to spot emotional traps, how to keep conversations on track, and how to repair connection after a breakdown. Fisher's guidance feels like having a wise, calm mentor by your side, someone who sees the big picture but also knows the small steps that matter. His tone is warm, non-judgmental, and incredibly reassuring, which makes the message even more powerful. In the final chapters, Fisher reminds us that the next conversation is not just a strategy, it's a lifestyle. It's a commitment to showing up differently, not just when it's convenient but especially when it's hard. It's about being the kind of communicator who builds trust, creates safety, and fosters understanding. And perhaps most importantly, it's about breaking generational cycles of poor communication and modeling something better for those around us. When we change how we communicate, we change the future. The next conversation doesn't promise to fix every relationship or prevent every conflict. But it does give you the tools to navigate those moments with grace, clarity, and purpose. It's a book that belongs on every shelf because communication is at the center of everything we do. Whether you're a parent, a partner, a leader, or simply someone who wants to stop dreading difficult conversations, this book is your blueprint. To sum it up, Jefferson Fisher offers more than a communication manual, he offers a mindset shift. One that replaces blame with curiosity, conflict with connection, and chaos with calm. And that shift isn't just helpful, it's transformative. The next conversation is always coming. The question is, how will you show up for it?